rejoin our friend and semi-hero Roger Wilco as he rockets back toward his home planet XENON, which he hasn't seen since Space Quest II. Having successfully rescued those two ingrates from Andromeda, he decides a pit stop on Magmetheus is in order. During the descent to this cosmic canteen, he is unaware of the interest that has been generated regarding his fate.
We have confirmation of his position, Master.
Off to Magmetheus with you, then. It is time for Wilco to meet the fate which I have crafted for him.
As our story begins, we find the aluminum mallard parked outside a seedy spaceport bar. We join Roger as he relates one of his greatly exaggerated tales of adventure. The aliens are only too happy to listen, as long as Roger is by.
See, there was this deadly root monster, a ferocious swamp creature, and a Labion terror beast to contend with. Then I had to outsmart another of Vohaul's gorillas and steal the...
Are you Roger Wilco?
Yeah.
Please come with me.
Hello, Roger Wilco. Surprised to see an old friend? You have no idea how special this moment is for me. This is no chance encounter, I can assure you. I have this one loose end to tie up before I begin my reign as the supreme being of all that exists. I do not like to lose. You are a blemish on what would otherwise be a perfect record of domination, terror, and invincibility. Besides, I'm still a bit miffed about that asteroid deal in Space Quest II. Anyway, to relieve the pain of my humiliation and to prevent you from being a pain in my future, you must die. It's been nice seeing you one last time. Then, do the dirty deed.
You go left and split them up. Mr. Wilco, follow me and do exactly as I say. Let's move!
Hey, I want to know what the...
Listen, I can't explain it all to you now. They've got a beat on our coordinates. We've got to move fast. We gotta do this fast. Shield your eyes! Jump into the time rip! Do it now! You've got to! If I take the time to explain, we're both parking lot pizza. You'll understand soon.
Now where am I? You wonder aloud to non-existent auditory organs. This place sure looks homey. Hey, wait, this looks just like XENON. It is XENON. It's really a pile. Along with the changes induced by an armed conflict, the city looks different, more modern, with a heavy dash of post-disaster seasoning. Casually glancing at the status line, you happen to notice that you're in Space Quest XII. What's happened? Who was that guy with the overdeveloped hairdryer? Why did you let yourself be talked into jumping into some strange shimmering hole? Why are you talking to yourself? These incredibly intriguing questions will quickly be forgotten with barely an electron stirred in that well-armored orb atop your shoulders. You are in the southern area of a rare clearing in this destroyed cityscape. Your home, as you remember it, does not exist in this period of time. A huge boil of a structure clogs the horizon. Decaying and destroyed buildings now house the apparently non-existent population of Xenon. A twisted and broken expanse of cityscape stretches south from here, negating possible travel plans in that direction. A brightly colored mechanical hare wanders about. The hare, anticipating your clumsy attempt to catch it in the open barehanded, won't come anywhere near you. You stand centrally located in perhaps the only debris-clear area on the surface of this city. This was a busy intersection of commerce when times were happier, and life, well, just existed. An odd structure looms in the distance. I think we're looking at your basic surface transportation intersection. The relatively undamaged building shows no entrances. A once prosperous bank building stands partially wrecked and sealed shut. Nah, you'd rather not. You never know where it's been. In the distance, the skeletal remains of once proud structures jut weakly into the chemical-laden atmosphere. The clearing ends here. Jagged chunks of debris clog the north. The large structure in the background captures your curiosity. Nobody can reach that building from here with their tongue unless they're in a Leisure Suit Larry game. A hazardous accumulation of unstructured structures blocks safe passage to the north. The old Bank of Xenon building held up fairly well. Too bad. They turned Roger down for a loan once. This is the only form of actual life that you've seen here. Its clothes are tattered, and a grotesque metal contraption is clamped to its head, which serves to hold the eyelids permanently open. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload. The structural warpage and the enormous gaping hole indicate a violent end for this corroding battle machine. Surprisingly, no one has taken this small, innocuous-looking piece of unstable ordnance. Okay, you now have the unstable ordnance. Remember, it was your idea. Good luck. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload. The structural warpage and the enormous gaping hole indicate a violent end for this corroding battle machine. Surprisingly, no one has taken this small, innocuous-looking piece of unstable ordnance. Okay, you now have the unstable ordnance. Remember, it was your idea. Good luck. A piece of unstable ordnance. very wise choice. Carefully placing the unstable ordnance back inside the tank, you decide some things are better left alone. Another of Xenon's ruined structures awaits the final slow assault of nature. The huge building supports miraculously still stand. One thing this society can say is that no citizen lives on the streets. In fact, nothing seems to live anywhere. This place is definitely DOA. It's a safe bet the tank had something to do with the end of traffic on this thoroughfare. A sidewalk anyone would be proud to own. More high-speed travel surface lies useless. This sealed, battered building is the last one standing in the southwestern area. The place is a mess. Dangerous terrain prevents travel to the south. A quick inspection reveals nothing of interest other than a glove box. It is a closed glove box. It looks like a genuine Pocket Pal portable terminal. After taking a quick look around to reassure yourself that the place is as dead as it looks, you snitch the Pocket Pal laptop. A battered and boarded storefront shows the wear and tear a little war can have on it. It's very pleasant looking. It seems to have everything you'd look for in a street, with the exception of mobile creatures or vehicles. What looks like fluid is actually a mixture of toxic atmospheric solids. You can't do that. It smells just as good as it looks. It tastes like all the other sidewalks you've ever tasted. The grate is anchored securely by bolts with corroded heads. It's a lightweight, worn piece of rope. You take the small, frayed, useless-looking length of rope. You're probably getting bored with these street descriptions. So, in an effort to decrease the message tedium to some degree, I won't go into some long description about the grates or the sizable void to the east. Happy adventuring! You are at the eastern boundary of a clearing in this ruined city. passage to the east is impossible due to a great void in the landscape. A battered and boarded storefront shows the wear and tear a little war can inflict. Huge supports miraculously still do just that to these buildings. A featureless, dirty white structure fills space to the east. As is often the case in road design, many features were left out to make it a hazard-free experience. A crummy piece of rope. Timing is a critical factor here. Those sure are some finely honed reactions you've got there. Perhaps you're still suffering from time lag. It would serve no purpose. Those sure are some finely honed reactions you've got there. Perhaps you're still suffering from time lag. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload. A crummy piece of rope. That was without a doubt one of the finest examples of bunny snatching I've ever seen. The stress placed on the rope during the bunny snatching was too much. You cast the useless fibers aside. You extract the portable power pellet from the back of the bunny's polyplastoid torso. A battery. You plug the mobile power cylinder into the laptop. This grate has crud, gunk, and sludge built up around the edges. You can see through the grate, but can't make anything out. You've reached the sewer maintenance office. Apparently this office has been long abandoned. Your janitorial instincts urge you to sweep up and do a little dusting, but you suppress those urges and concentrate on the task at hand. The strange little pedestal has wires running between it and the wall. A variety of pipes, coolant and otherwise, pass in, through, and around the room. You notice the shadow cast on the wall by the inaccessible grate above. The desk is not exactly executive caliber. It's an empty jar with a lid, neither of which does anything entertaining. You take the jar into custody. You have an empty jar. It's just an average old-fashioned desk blotter. Ah, a button. Perhaps I'll give it a press.
Data entry 22795. This message is to whomever may be so fortunate as to find it. I am Professor Lloyd, lead designer of the XENON supercomputer project, the ultimate in artificial intelligence. The computer was designed to enhance our lives, but instead ended up being the ruin of us all. We made the mistake of tying it into the most important facets of our existence here on XENON, including our weather control and defense systems. It seemed like a sound idea at the time, and all proceeded well for about 3 years. It was around then that a deep space salvage operation recovered what appeared to be some sort of antiquated data storage unit contained in a flimsy cardboard box on which the words Leisure Suit Larry were imprinted. On its back was the picture of a not particularly wholesome gentleman, but that's another story. My counterparts exhibited shameful behavior as they tore open the box to get at its contents. I could not understand the commotion it generated. The data was uploaded into the supercomputer for analysis. As a result, a crippling virus spread through the machine like a bad social disease. All control of the computer was lost. All screens went blank. Then these words were displayed by the monitors and uttered by the vocal outputs. Wilco must pay. From that day forth, the possessed computer waged war on the inhabitants of XENON, using our own weapons against us. Some managed to escape to other planets. Those of us who remained stayed to fight the machines and robots under its control. It was a bloody war. Those of us that were not killed were taken captive and modified. These cyborgs infiltrated the loyal ranks of resistance, rooting out almost all of our hiding places and exposing us to the mechanical menace. Some of these poor souls still wander the streets. As of this recording, we are down to only a handful of rebels. My health is deteriorating rapidly. To make matters worse, I've just learned that the computer has unraveled the mysteries of time travel. I've sent my 2 best men to attempt to steal this new technology. If you are not a machine, then perhaps they were successful. Please realize, you are Xenon's last hope.
Nothing happens. You don't need to look at that. You peer into the darker area beyond the hatch frame and see nothing particularly revolting. It smells mysterious. You have the urge to play Name That Gas. Oh no! The door has shut and there's no way back. What are you going to do now? The pipes running along the sides of this conduit are coated in inert slime. There's a small vent set into the side of the sewer tunnel. Unfortunately, it looks way too narrow for a space janitor, even a skinny one, to squeeze inside. This is a section of the XENON sewer system. Fortunately, there seems to be very little of the secret ingredient usually associated with sewers. The pipes running along the sides of this conduit are coated in inert slime. There's a small vent set into the side of the sewer tunnel. Unfortunately, it looks way too narrow for a space janitor, even a skinny one, to squeeze inside. This hatch, locked from the other side, was your portal to this area. A blob of slime has gained an attraction for you. Is the green, viscous, congealed wad of vile helper bent on your destruction? Or is it just a friendly puddle of scum looking for a new friend? Dare you find out? You took a little too long. Now it's slime time! As the green slime dissolves the flesh from your bones, you think, hey, this stuff consumes 47 times its weight in acid. You have an empty jar. Okay. You scoop up the slimy secretion. Better get away now before it scoops you up. A sturdy metal ladder is attached to the wall here. At the top of the ladder, there appears to be something resembling the underside of a manhole cover. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload. You look at the finely sculpted ship. It looks to have been designed for atmospheric operation, probably used solely for patrol excursions. This seems to be a relatively spacious landing gear compartment. Wonder how cramped it gets in there when the gear is stowed. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload. This seems to be a relatively spacious landing gear compartment. Wonder how cramped it gets in there when the gear is stowed. This is the middle section of the supercomputer's landing bay. The ship you hitched a ride on rests here. Uh-oh. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload.
I've just completed a scan of the Labion sector of Space Quest II. No sign of presence at this time.
You give the time pod a long glance. It's not the most attractive vehicle you've ever seen. It resembles an overgrown titanium tennis shoe. A gold-tinted glass shield seals the top.
Halt! Some people just won't follow instructions.
We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload.
I've just completed a scan of the Labion sector of Space Quest II. No sign of presence at this time.
It's some sort of monitor, probably used to monitor something or other. You're sitting inside a time machine, remember? It's a button with a strange symbol on it. You vaguely remember these symbols from your 5th grade time theory class with crazy Mrs. Drimple. The readout displays some interesting symbols similar to those on the keypad. You wonder if these might bear some significance. It's a large compartment that's probably full of instruction manuals, code books, time maps, and the like. Too bad it's also locked. A standard time pod headrest. Not very comfortable, but the regular operators have metal heads, so it's not a concern for them. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally... This view provides a flashback to a recent adventure. It looks real hot out there. Hot enough for thermo-weave underwear. That button opens the canopy. This is Roger. This is Roger on Ortega. Any questions? The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally... Nothing much happens. That must not have been a valid code. Try again. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally... Peering through the port, you see an unusual land. Its wind-carved pinnacles and buttes bring back memories of the planet Corona, where this whole adventure mess started. That button opens the canopy. You've seen a lot of plateaus and sloping hills before, but this one's a butte. The entire horizon undulates in enticing peaks, curves, and crevices for which Estros is famous.
Whoa! What was that?
You get the feeling you're not alone here. Wow, what an incredible view! Hey, those Talon things hurt! You didn't much care for the landing either. My. Rather than the sequel policeman penetrating the inner sanctum of the nest, the reverse obviously occurred. You frisk the skewered sequel policeman and turn up a paper-wrapped wad of used chewing gum. This lumpy paper-wrapped wad looks mighty interesting. These symbols look vaguely familiar. Now, where have you seen them? The huge nest is constructed of sticks and assorted being parts gathered from this bleak planet. It is then cemented in place by a generous helping of pterodactyl saliva. The inedible portions of the pterodactyl's previous meals lie scattered about the nest. My. Rather than the sequel policeman penetrating the inner sanctum of the nest, the reverse obviously occurred. What do you want? A bone marrow sample? You've already cleaned the guy's pockets. Right now, the sequel policeman has no distinct smell. But give him a few days and he'll be quite aromatic, not to mention plumped up like a ballpark Frank. Take it from someone who knows sick. Licking corpses is going way beyond simple dementia. Get a grip, pal. You notice a small breach in the side of the nest.
You've got a lot of nerve coming back here, Roger Wilco. After leaving me the way you did, you male scum. This is the last woman you'll ever dump on. Right, girls?
Right.
Said you couldn't be tied down.
I said that?
You said you had to be free to roam the galaxy.
Was that me?
You'll be sorrier than you look. We'll see to that.
Yeah.
Into the sub, flyboy.
The submarine has a sporty look to it, distinctly hydrodynamic compared to those fine vessels you've traveled aboard recently. The time for talk on your part appears to have passed. Speak now, and forever hold your peaces. You hope these women soon realize that they must have the wrong guy.
This is Zandra. We are approaching checkpoint 6. Prepare to open the tunnel door. Activate the door.
Sit down.
Comfy, Mr. Wilco?
Hey, what are you doing? Let me go, witch!
Shut up! Your whimpering sickens me. I'll teach you not to run out on me. Thorine is quite knowledgeable in the ways of torture. I'll let the two of you get acquainted. Thorine, do your stuff.
With pleasure, Zandra.
Let me introduce you to a friend of mine. This is EpiRip 357, the most powerful hand-hair remover in the universe, and it's capable of shaving your legs clean off. I've always wanted to see a man shave with one of these, but I guess you'll do. Now you'll know the meaning of the word pain. Ah! It's a sea slug! Run, girls!
Shiny stainless steel instruments cover the surgical tray. Some of them look vaguely familiar as veterinary instruments. Hot lights glare in your face, making you very uncomfortable. This switch activates a laser. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pet load. You see what seem to be pressurized oxygen tanks. I'm sure the Latex Babes appreciate your sacrifice. Too bad you can't experience just how appreciative they are.
Our hero! Wasn't he great, girls? Well, Raj, I guess we can call it even. Thank you for ridding our fortress of that slimy, awful sea slug. I know I can't blame you for backing out at the last minute. I guess I was a little overbearing. Sorry. Can we still be good friends?
Well, now, wait a minute. Let's talk about this.
No, Roger. You were right. You don't need to spare my feelings. It just wasn't meant to be. It's better this way. Well, girls, I feel like celebrating. Let's go shopping!
Meanwhile, back in Space Quest XII...
Well, what have we here?
This is the rebel scum we captured in the Space Quest IV time sector. He had just aided Wilco in escaping. The readout on his time gun indicates that Wilco was successfully transported into this time sector as you feared.
That is no longer a concern. Wilco will surrender to us once he has learned we have captured his son. Then he will be destroyed once and for all.
Sail!
It's just another vital part of the Galaxy Galleria shopping mall. It's an Autobox teller machine card. You pick up the ATM card. An Autobox teller machine card. It's the Software Excess Store. If it's soft, we're aware. For some reason, there is a gathering here.
What's going on in there? The two geeks from Andromeda are in there signing copies of their latest release.
Probably some kind of customer detection system. Wow, an Autobox teller machine! Your arms won't reach that far. Wow, an Autobox teller machine! You obviously don't resemble a blonde woman. What a surprise. You don't need to look at that. Monolith Burger, the only fast food chain to survive the infamous food wars.
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
The sign reads, Big and Tall.
Pardon me, sir. You appear to be in dire need of my services.
Your first thought upon looking around is, hey, this store isn't so big and tall. Then your brain kicks in. The store is crammed with racks of apparel for the discriminating, gigantic, obese alien. It looks like a slipcover for a snake. This suit is a replacement shell for some sort of exoskeletal wanderer. And hey, check out those boots. This looks like a pressure suit for something with upper body appendages.
Let me know if there is anything I can get for you.
The well-dressed alien will want to be seen in this lovely ensemble, perfect for those nights out at the Solar Ballet. This one looks like it might have been designed for ceremonial functions. The reduced cost shelf is stocked full of wonderful merchandise. The bargain shelves are loaded with all types of great things nobody would want. This is your friendly sales clerk. He's automated and comes complete with a built-in attitude.
I'm sorry, I lost my boots and the legs of my pants in a deadly fight with a giant sea slug, which I won in the nick of time with my clever thinking and my, cleverness.
I see. Well, all right. Let me get your measurements. We've got just the thing for the likes of you. I assume you will be wanting something in the generic Space Hero line? These will do for you. Try them on in the dressing room here if you wish.
You change your clothes, not forgetting the items in your pocket. You never know when you'll need them. You step out looking good as new.
That will be 20 buckasoids, please.
It's a Bean Counter 200 revenue collection device.
Thank you so much for shopping with us, sir. Do come back soon.
Yeah?
It's the gruff, unpersonable manager of this particular monolith burger franchise. Famous mono sauce number 2. Famous mono sauce. It's a microwave. This is just one of over 2.5 million monolith burger franchises scattered around the known universes.
I'd like,
We're out of it. We're out of everything, including employees. Would you like to apply for a job? You would, huh? Well, this is the greatest opportunity you've ever had, kid. Benefits up the wazoo, and if you stick with me half an hour or so, I'll make you my assistant manager. Now, how would you like that?
Gee, thanks.
Warning, the following sequence contains explicit arcade action and is not recommended for die-hard adventure players, the arcade squeamish, or those with poor to non-existent motor skills.
This is so easy, a human could probably do it. Burger comes out of the oven. Drop on your lettuce, your pickle, squeeze on your mayo, squirt on your mustard, on goes your ketchup, top it off with your sesame seed bun. You make 'em my way, and if you mess up enough times, you're out of here. Got it? If you need to know how to run the assembly line, read the sign. Just click it with the mouse or press R.
I'm lettuce. Real old lettuce. Lay me down on the burger. I like to go first.
Bite me on the pickle. Hi, I'm mayonnaise. I'm cholesterol-laden and ready to clog an artery when given the chance.
I'm your mustard. Squeeze me.
Hello, I'm the ketchup. Did you know there's more sugar in me than in ice cream? It's a fact.
I'm your permabuns. Nothing goes out of here unless it's in me.
Get your nose off me. What do I look like? A nostril mat?
I'm the pickle. I smell like vinegar on a spring morning.
Don't bother. I'm really quite bland.
Pungent, eh?
Yeah, that's right. No smell. Better no smell than a bad one.
I smell like any other set of 299-year-old buns.
I'm lettuce. I taste like an old leaf, okay?
I taste like crunchy toe jam sauteed in vinegar.
Some people think I taste oily. I don't think so. Do you?
Go ahead. Take a big lick, old Mr. Mustard. You'll be sorry.
I'm the best little condiment you ever tasted. You know I am, really. I'm not kidding, I am.
I'm a permabun. While I have absolutely no taste, I do have a shelf life of 3 centuries.
You're fired! My janitor could do a better job than you could. Yeah?
I'd like a...
Oh, you again. What do you want? Would you like to apply for a job? You would, huh? Well, this is the greatest stuff. You heard the pitch before. Just don't screw up, or I'll land you on your ear again. Got it?
Gee, thanks. What a swell boss.
Warning, the following sequence contains explicit arcade action and is not recommended for die-hard adventure players, the arcade squeamish, or those with poor to non-existent motor skills.
You're fired! My janitor could do a better job than you could. Yeah?
I'd like,
Oh, you again. What do you want? Would you like to apply for a job? You would, huh? Well, this is the greatest ever... you heard the pitch before. Just don't screw up, or I'll land you on your ear again. Got it?
Gee, thanks. What a swell boss.
Warning, the following sequence contains explicit arcade action and is not recommended for die-hard adventure players, the arcade squeamish, or those with poor to non-existent motor skills.
You're fired! My janitor could do a better job than you could. Yeah?
I'd like,
Oh, you again. What do you want? Would you like to apply for a job? You would, huh? Well, this is the greatest ever... you heard the pitch before. Just don't screw up, or I'll land you on your ear again. Got it?
Gee, thanks. What a swell boss.
Warning, the following sequence contains explicit arcade action and is not recommended for die-hard adventure players, the arcade squeamish, or those with poor to non-existent motor skills.
My janitor could do a better job than you could. Yeah?
I'd like,
Oh, you again. What do you want? Would you like to apply for a job? You would, huh? Well, this is the greatest ever. You heard the pitch before. Just don't screw up, or I'll land you on your ear again. Got it?
Gee, thanks. What a swell boss.
Warning, the following sequence contains explicit arcade action and is not recommended for die-hard adventure players, the arcade squeamish, or those with poor to non-existent motor skills.
You're fired! My janitor could do a better job than you could.
It's a cigar, but not much more than a butt. You retrieve the cigar butt. It's very pleasant looking. This is Socks, a high-class, high-priced dress shop. In the window, a robotic mannequin struts its stuff. In the window, a robotic mannequin struts its stuff. All the best dressed bipedal female fashion slaves shop here at Socks. The dazzling decor is just eye-numbing enough to make the price tags hard to read. Wow, you think to yourself, this place is fancier than Fredericks of Uranus. The latest in swank fashion, displayed in a number of horrifying colors. The latest in swank fashion, displayed in a number of horrifying colors. The latest in swank fashion, displayed in a number of horrifying colors. While enjoying this banquet of fashion, you wonder what you might look like in one of these cute little frocks. Hey, what kind of thing is that for a studly guy like you to be thinking? Get a hold of yourself, fella. Hey, not bad for a robotic mannequin. You like the shoes, but the stripes might make you look overweight. Would stripes look good on me, you wonder? Those boots are attractive. Fringe, would that be too daring? It's a nice outfit, but you're not sure you have the midriff for it. The skin color and cape make a statement, the kind taken in police stations. These wigs are the latest fashion, if you have a cone head or like the purple haze look. These are some darn attractive wigs. Just the thing if you want a head like an axe, or you want to capture that Ed Grimley look. They can't be real. No living thing can resist your charm.
Oh, real plastic.
Wow, genuine Zynthian leather. They can't be real. No living thing can resist your charm. You check out the clerk. You've always had a thing for women with antenna.
Hiya, hun. I'm Maybot, fashion consultant to the Cosmos. What can we, do with you today?
Well, this is kind of hard to explain.
Oh, let me guess. You want something for someone very special. Someone who died to get the latest in high galactic fashion. Are we right, or are we right?
We're right.
Okay. What size does she take?
Oh, 38.
Oh, I don't think we're right about that.
I'm not sure, but she's built about like me.
Is she? A likely story. Good thing for you, I can keep a secret, sweetie. I'm sure this will suit that special someone's needs. It's all the rage. I suppose you'll want to try it on now. Here, use this dressing room. And honey, if your special someone needs a wig, this one should look pretty good on you. Very lovely, honey. It's made for you. Would you like us to wrap it up? Or would that special someone prefer you to wear it home?
I think I'll wear it home.
Just what we thought. That will be 60 buckazoids, sicko.
You should know by now that you can't just take things without paying for them.
Oh, it's you again. What do you want?
I'd still like to buy that dress. I'm terribly sorry about that little misunderstanding.
Well, okay. But don't try that again. If you have to be weird, fine. But we don't appreciate shoplifters, dear. I'm sure this will suit that special someone's needs. It's all the rage. I suppose you'll want to try it on now. Here, use this dressing room. And honey, if your special someone needs a wig, this one should look pretty good on you. Very lovely, honey. It's made for you. Would you like us to wrap it up? Or would that special someone prefer you to wear it home?
I think I'll wear it home.
Just what we thought. That will be 60 buckazoids, sicko. Appreciate it, hun. Thanks for shopping at Saks.
An Autobucks Teller machine card.
What can I do for you, doll?
I'd like,
We're out of it. We're out of everything, including employees. Would you like to apply for a job?
I can cook.
No can do. What with you being female and all?
What, you male sexist pig?
I am dearly sorry, miss. This is a male clothing store.
Having already purchased the dress, you decide to stick with men's clothes from now on, even though it was almost too enjoyable. As you change your clothes, you think to yourself that even in drag, you still have incredible animal magnetism. Or is that just a lack of deodorant?
Thanks for shopping at Saks.
Sorry, but the crowd completely cleaned out my stock of Sierra software. The only thing that's left is boring home and business application software, along with a few inferior games. But feel free to look around anyway. So, are you looking for a good database? We've got one coming in next week.
The clerk was right. Only boring applications software remains. A bargain bin containing discount software. The The latest bomb from master storyteller Maury Brianarty, Boom, is a post-Holocaust adventure set in post-Holocaust America after the Holocaust. Neutron bombs have eradicated all life, leaving only you to wander through the wreckage. No other characters, no conflict, no puzzles, no chance of dying, and no interface make this the easiest to finish game yet. Just boot it up and watch it explode. It's the newest in the wacky Jaime Lipschitz series. Jaime, son of a wealthy New York furrier, has gone wild with Dad's frequent flyer vouchers again. Can you track Jaime down and bring him home to meet the girl Mom's picked out for him? Hold on to your yarmulke. Yes, Jaime Lipschitz strikes again. 640K, Ronald MT32, and 3.5 circumcision required. It's here at last. With a combination of SAI, Simulated Artificial Intelligence, and VRAI, Virtually Real Artificial Intelligence, we at Max This Software have created a simulated simulator experience that's unlike anything you've ever simulated playing before. With SimSim, you can create a simulated environment in which you can create any simulated environment you want. Following closely on the heels of his hit tic-tac-toe construction set, Phil Fudge does it again. Using a simple point-and-click interface, you construct the checkerboard of your dreams. Fill in an 8x8 grid with squares of your choice, red or black, in any arrangement, as long as it's alternating. Don't like it? Erase it and start all over again. Requires MCGA, CGA, VGA, PGA, or Ta-ra-ra Boom GA. Head for the hills, it's coming, and this time it's hungry. It Came for Dessert is a thrilling action-adventure in which a mob of pushy, overweight relatives invade your kitchen. Armed with only a Jell-O mold and a pastry bag, you must repel the invaders, always keeping an eye on your blood sugar level. It's the merriest mix-up since Enemaware's fabulous Defender of the Crown Rib Roast. Presenting the latest in the award-winning King's Quest series, from the still-active mind of aging Roberta Williams III, latest in the award-winning Roberta Williams series, what happens when Old Man Graham and his family are kicked out of Daventry Condo Association? You'll meet the fabulous Bernoulli brothers, Professor C.D. Romberg, and of course Rumpelstiltskin, over 12 gigabytes in length. From the folks who brought you Astro Chicken. When it comes to stimulating chickens, Chuck Egger is the expert. And now you can learn from him. Design the chicken of your choice. Over 40 options including lips, no lips, and laying frequency. And take your creation for a wild ride over real barnyard scenery based on an authentic flight model of a chicken. You're in for a peck of fun now. The two guys from Andromeda's latest sci-fi comedy, Space Quest IV, will give you hours of frustration unless you have this hint book. Want to know how to get the dog into the hanging basket? Want to find out how to attach the melon? Buy this hint book and it all becomes obvious. You'll hit your head and say, boy, how stupid could I have been? A moron could have figured this out. I must be a real dimwit, a pathetic nimno, a wretched, idiotic excuse for a human being not to have figured out these simple puzzles in the first place. Try it and see.
I see you've made a selection from our box of slop, bargain bin. Thank you.
Yes, it's a Reveal-O-Matic electric hint revealer. An SQ4 hint book. Oh, great. Only half the answer showed. It must be a defective hint module.
I'm sure you'll be satisfied with your selection.
This store is closed. A security door blocks the entrance. As you look around the arcade, you see that some of your old favorites are still working. Monaco Princess Stunt Drivin', Choke and Croak, Ghetto Blaster, and Dweeb Hunter. The air is filled with smoke, sweat, and ozone, reminding you of your favorite cologne, Night in Programming. Watching this fine youngster brings back fond memories of your youth. Little did you know that all those hours of playing blazin' paddles were in preparation for being a space guy hero type. This slime flyer machine has seen better days. This game, Dweeb Hunter, reminds you too much of your present predicament. And guess who the dweeb is? Boy, you'd think after all these years they'd come up with something more sophisticated than frogs jumping from log to log. It's some sort of video art form. Looks like a hand throwing a pizza. The dead fish in the sushi bar machine appear to have been dead far longer than they were fish. The sushi bar was not one of Buckazoid Bill's greatest ideas. The change machine looks like a time machine more than a time machine looks like a time machine. For a change. The Ghetto Blaster game is completely socially irredeemable, gratuitously violent, and without a doubt, the most popular arcade game ever. It's some sort of video art form. Looks like a computer-generated fractal simulation of a washing machine. Your best score on Captain Zappo was 251. This kid has 15,290,912. Gazing at the wastebasket, your impulse, nay, your very instinct, nay, the very fibers of your being, scream out for you to pick up that garbage. But you're too busy. You resist those inbred custodial tendencies to collect garbage. You have much more important garbage to tend to. You're quite startled to hear the wastebasket respond.
Max, is that you? Agent 99? I always get these lousy disguises. Would you put a word in with the chief for me? I wouldn't mind, but these kids, all they eat is ice cream and candy bars. You know how many Big Chewies I've eaten in the last hour? Not to mention the wad of Big Bang bubblegum I got stuck to my shoe phone. Gee.
Give your nose a break. It's a garbage can. Nah, you'd rather not. You never know where it's been. The sign says Ms. Astro Chicken. How strange that nobody is playing it. Whoa! This game's circuits have melted into a mass of molten silicon. But the fireworks were pretty. The sign says Ms. Astro Chicken. How strange that nobody is playing it. The Ms. Astro Chicken machine looks as though it's taken its last buckazoid.
Wilco.
Smoking is bad for your health. You give the time pod a long glance. It resembles an overgrown titanium tennis shoe. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time-rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally... Memories race through your mind. You know you've seen this place in your distant past. The low-resolution features look exactly like a place you once visited called ULENCE Flats. This closely resembles the left side of Droids Be Us. It smells like an old lawsuit coming back to haunt the two guys from Andromeda. The poor taste of the building is only matched by the poor taste of the architect. The gate is down, the store is closed. The sign indicates that this establishment is not open for business.
Ouch!
It's a Walmart force field generation unit. You've obviously found the location of Tiny's used spaceships. Lucky you. This building is quite small. Maybe this is why it's called Tiny's. This must be the Yugo of spaceships. You wonder why anyone would bother to lock it. At the bottom of this excavation is a small craft almost totally buried in dirt. You remember barely making it back out when the engine died. The sign suggests that this place might be a bar. This must be the back of a bar. Some fading graffiti adorns the wall. You don't know what it says, but you're sure it's not flattering.
Aw, cripes! I hate it when that happens!
Thousands of volts pass through your cranium, turning your brain into a quivering mass of short-circuited neurons, which effectively terminates all interpretation of sensory impulses. Your musculature spasms for the last time as the force field shock causes you to give up the ghost. This long-legged beauty stands silently, waiting for its jet-faced owner to return. It looks like it came from the planet of the warts. This ship must be the Plantar's deluxe model with authentic mosaic upholstery. As you check out the Sen bikes, you wonder what kind of cheeseball would own one. This must be the entrance to this building. The old bar is still here. The smell of Coronian ale stinks up the place. The aroma leads you to remember vividly your previous visit here. You break out in a cold sweat. You see two guys singing. Some rather drab-looking individuals are hogging the bar. This guy's too ugly to describe. You see a book of matches on the bar countertop. Your attempt to get the matches failed.
Well, looky here. If it ain't Mr. Look at Me, I'm in VGA. What's the matter? Monochrome not good enough for you? What's this? 256 colors all for one little bitmap wimp? What a waste of VGA. Hey, fellas, I bet I can toss them all the way out from the bottom of the stairs. Bitchin' ale.
As you check out the Sen bikes, you wonder what kind of cheeseball would own one.
Boy, that was close. Hey, how come their bikes can go through the force field?
You pick up the book of matches. You hear a high-pitched whine from the east. Nice reflexes. Life is pounded loose from your body by the impact of the sand bike. Now this is a pain that'll linger. All the Bengay in Florida won't relieve this stiffness. You hear a high-pitched whine from the east. Boy, that was close. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time-rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally... You look out at the city you were born in decades ago. You're sure glad you weren't there when this devastation happened. You might have gotten hurt. On the bright side, you won't have to pay those delinquent traffic tickets. This is the Sequel Police Dispatch Monitor. At the moment, nothing is being displayed. This is the patrol shuttle you hitched a ride on. Watch out for that first step. That was a long first step. There's a tunnel leading into the middle of the structure. Your innate sense of curiosity makes you wish you knew the way to open this thing. None of the codes you punch in seem to have any effect on the door. You have a jar of green acid. Well, there's not much left of the lock now. This long tunnel contains 3 circular steel portals, each containing nozzle-like projections. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload. You don't need to look at that. A book of matches. You slide the conveniently pre-moistened stogie between your lips, apply a lit match, and proceed to nearly hack up a lung. You cast the old stogie to the ground. We're glad you could play Space Quest IV. As usual, you've been a real pantload. This maze of cables, ducts, pipes, and glowing panels gives the superbrain computer a sense of being alive. You hear an electronic hum approaching from ahead of you. Now you knew he was coming, didn't you? You hear an electronic hum approaching from ahead of you. You hear an electronic hum approaching from behind you. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally, this looks like some type of arcade where people mindlessly go adrenal via the latest and not-so-late mind-boggling shoot-'em-ups and maze games. there's probably not much in this robot's head.
Welcome to our automated catalog. Let us be your gateway to what's new and exciting in the world of 24th century electronics. Through the pages of our automated catalog, you will find gifts for the whole family. For Dad, look in electronic gadgets for our selection of stereo components. For Mom, peek into the electronic mommy for a variety of labor-saving devices and marital aids. For Sis and little brother, browse our Techno-Tots toy department for the latest in electronic playborgs. Shopping our automated catalog is as easy as snapping your digital appendages. Using your mouse or tab key, simply point to the menu item of your choice and press enter, or click the mouse button. Should you get confused, simply return to the top menu and begin anew. Thank you for choosing us for all your electronic needs. We know you'll find just what you're looking for, and if you don't, we're wrong and you should look somewhere else. These special sale items are available for a limited time only. Availability is limited to items in stock, as is only no returns. Some items may be demo models, scratched, dented, or just not in very good shape. No warranties expressed or implied apply to these items. No refund or exchange. Re-Shrink Wrap 2000. Work for a large retail software chain? Like to take the products home and diddle with them? The Re-Shrink Wrap 2000 re-shrink wraps any size software box. Is that game new or used? Only you'll know for sure. Keep the customers guessing. Dealers only, please. 1,033 buckazoids. Faux Components Swiss Army Micro Entertainment Center. Styled to look like a real set of miniature components, this is a complete home entertainment center in one 4x6-inch box. Includes CD-ROM unit, turntable, dual cassette with HyperWow and Mega Flutter, unfolding 84-inch digital color projection multiscreen TV, corkscrew, and toothpick. 2,275 buckazoids. Back-ordered. None currently available. Dodecaphonic Around Sound Processor. Ever notice how flat and unexciting normal stereophonic, quintrophonic, and octophonic recordings are? With the Dodecaphonic Around Sound Processor, your music will seem to come from 12 directions. In front of you, behind you, either side of you, 4 midpoints in between, above you, below you, from inside of you, and from the upstairs neighbors. 877 buckazoids. Discontinued. CD-GI-ROM TV. Move over CD-ROM, CDG, CDI, and CD-TV. CD-GDI-ROM TV does everything the others do and more. Besides accepting the formats mentioned above, CD-GI-ROM TV also plays high-quality Laserdisc movies, sure to become popular any century now. 842 buckazoids. Estimated delivery, summer 2,735. Pocket Pal Portable Terminal. Say, is that a complete workstation in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me? Now you can carry the power of a dumb terminal around with you without even creasing your jumpsuit. Includes chiclet-style keyboard and dentine-style mouse. 3,406 buckazoids. Pocket Pal Connector. If you're a proud owner of our ever-popular Pocket Pal portable terminal, you have no doubt noticed that without the proper connector, it is virtually useless. Fortunately, at this moment, our exclusive Pocket Pal connector is on sale for just 1,999 buckazoids. Get yours now before the price goes up even further.
A Pocket Pal adapter plug. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally, you look out at the city you were born in decades ago. You're sure glad you weren't there when this devastation happened. You might have gotten hurt. On the bright side, you won't have to pay those delinquent traffic tickets. Your Pocket Pal now has power. Now all you need is a place to use it. A Pocket Pal adapter plug. You attach the plug to the Pocket Pal. This maze of cables, ducts, pipes, and glowing panels gives the superbrain computer a sense of being alive. You hear an electronic hum approaching from ahead of you. Slot A. Insert terminal plug here. Now you knew he was coming, didn't you? Your Pocket Pal now has power. Now all you need is a place to use it. The Pocket Pal screen displays a wealth of almost useful information. Maybe if you wait a while, the nice droid will come around to where you are and talk to you. You are here. The keys are just painted on. While you were busy staring blankly at your Pocket Pal screen, a droid snuck up behind you, tapped you on the shoulder. Zap! You're it! You hear an electronic hum approaching from behind you. You hear an electronic hum approaching from behind you. This maze of cables, ducts, pipes, and glowing panels gives the superbrain computer a sense of being alive. Now you knew he was coming, didn't you?
Take a good look, Roger. Remember this poor wretched soul, for he is your son.
get the feeling you're being watched. It's either an electronic eye or a light bulb. You're not sure which. The heavy iron door looks impenetrable. You see a small keypad. Now you knew he was coming, didn't you? The chamber's interior is filled with hoses, tubes, and wires, and one computer terminal. It's very pleasant looking. Probably represents some tertiary function of the supercomputer brain. Certainly nothing important. You've seen this mystic rune somewhere else. Yeah, this looks like toilet material. The Andromedan symbol for life. Looks rather like a security droid of some sort. This is your brain. Had this been a real brain, you would have known how to use it. The exit bar. This maze of cables, ducts, pipes, and glowing panels gives the superbrain computer a sense of being alive.
Hello again, Roger. It's me, your old friend, Sludge Vohaul. I've taken the liberty of borrowing your son's body. I had to remove him first to make room for my mental self. His is on this disc. Say, it's most enjoyable to be in a young, healthy body, even if it's from your bloodline. In fact, I like it so much, I think I'll keep it. I guess we'll have no use for this anymore. Now it's time to settle things, once and for all. You'd better be careful, though. Keep this in mind. If I die while in this body, that disc will be useless. Your son will never draw another breath. And if you don't defend yourself, you will never live to buff another helmet. Come on, show me what you've got, mop jockey. Is that the best effort you can muster? All this space hero nonsense must be getting to you. You're getting old, Roger. I, on the other hand, am enjoying the physical joys of youth.
It's Roger Jr. It's a disk drive unit. The ladder leads down to the floor far below. The label on the diskette reads, Roger Jr., Brain Tools, Stunt Flyer. It is the brain's control panel.
Follow me. There are many things we need to talk about. You must be very confused.
Were Vohaul's words true? Are you really my son? You do look a little like me, though not as good looking.
What do you mean, not as good looking? I'm 10 times... Wait. What am I saying? This is no way to start. Yes, what Vohaul said is true. I have many things to tell you, Dad. I should start at the beginning. I was born 19 years ago on XENON. It's always been my home. The XENON of today, at least up until recently, had made great strides in managing our planet's resources. That included water, minerals, even the talent of our population. We enjoyed peace for so many years, we took it for granted. The creation of the first super biomic computer was the biggest success story in our history. When the Vohaul virus was introduced and began to control the computer, a state of total chaos was created. We were unprepared for what followed as Vohaul turned our technology against us. The population was quickly decimated. Some of us stayed and tried to fight, some were captured, and some fled the planet. When it seemed there was no hope, we thought of one last, long-shot effort. That was to find the only person in history ever to defeat Vohaul. We had to go back in time to find that person, you. We got there just in time.
You had to go back in time to get me? Why wasn't I available in this time? What happened to me? I don't understand.
I'm sorry. There are some things I wish I could tell you, but can't. I know that's not what you want to hear. Believe me, I just can't.
Hey, if you're my son, who's your mother? My wife? Where is she? Who is she?
You sure ask a lot of questions for a janitor. This is my mother and your wife. Her name was Beatrice Wankmeister. She was quite beautiful, wasn't she?
What do you mean, was quite beautiful? What are you saying?
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Please, I can't tell you anymore.
I don't believe all this. I'm so confused.
It doesn't matter now. I have to send you back where I found you so that history will properly reflect the events which brought us to this place in time. You won't remember much. This will seem like it was a weird, fuzzy dream. I must get back to the task of contacting all the surviving citizens of our planet. We have a huge task ahead of us. Rebuilding our city and our lives will not be easy, but we will do it. Once more, I have to ask you to enter the time rip. It will return you to Magmetheus in the Space Quest IV era. Please, go now. It's time. Dad? I'm glad I got to see you, even if only for a few minutes. XENON owes you a lot. Goodbye, Dad.
So many unanswered questions. The future should prove most interesting for Roger, if he can stay out of trouble long enough to reach it. We're glad you could help Roger get through it all. Thank you for playing Space Quest IV.